I am so excited to introduce you to the Spring 2023 Virtual Showcase speakers from the Big Talk Academy. Each one of these speakers went through the 12-week certification program, which culminated in the Virtual Showcase. I look forward to hearing what you think about their big talks. Enjoy. First speaker today, Oleksandra Ranchuk, is a Los Angeles-based award-winning screenwriter, actress, and television host. She was born and raised in Poviern, Ukraine. She moved to the US in 2014 to pursue her dream of becoming a famous Hollywood actress and television host. Oleksandra played the lead role in the movie Earpiece. She was in a Nike commercial and has hosted a television series called the Immigrant Success Stories. Everyone, please welcome to the stage Oleksandra Ranchuk with Success Through the Eyes of Immigrants.
Hi, everyone. Each immigrant has their own immigration story, and usually it starts in the day of the departure. I will never forget mine. I remember that feeling when I realized that this is possibly the last time I see my friends, my home, and my family in Ukraine. Immigration is not always a choice. Very often people are forced to immigrate, and war in Ukraine is a sad example of it. Stay and die or run could be your only options. And once the decision is made, not everyone is ready for what awaits. Settling in a new country is like learning to swim. The older you become, the harder it gets. I still don't know how I'm doing this. Fear, anxiety, depression, lack of self-confidence can be overwhelming. That's why it's very important to have the right people on your side who can guide you through the difficult times. But what should we do if we arrive and there is no one who we know? Or there are some people, but they couldn't achieve their initial goals. How they can give us the right advice? Do you know how many times I received the comments from the people around me that this and that I wanted to achieve is impossible? As many times as I asked about it. We all come to the United States to make our dream come true. And there are a lot of things we get to know. Culture, habits, rules, language, etc. And it is to be expected. But there is one important thing nobody likes to think about or to talk about. We all have to face a number of psychological difficulties where we have to decide if immigration is something we really want. I started to question why some people become successful and some do not. I researched, I observed, I interviewed people and came to the conclusion that not everyone is capable enough to adapt to the new realities. And the process of adaptation is very important on our way to success. And our success depends on how we overcome that process. After moving to another country, we have to build our entire personal infrastructure from scratch. And the process of adaptation may take longer than we expect. It all depends on personal situations, stress resistance, and optimism. It is also related to the new living conditions. Let me explain. When I first moved to Minneapolis, it was early March. It was snowing, raining outside, and I didn't see anybody in the streets. This new reality shocked me. I didn't see it on the TV, and I had to adapt. And I know for sure that the adaptation takes place in 5 stages. The first stage is called honeymoon. That's when all the immigrants look at the new life through their rose-colored glasses. Everything looks more fun and brighter than a sad and boring homeland. Unfortunately, this euphoria will not last long and will be replaced by the next stage that is called departure from euphoria. At this stage, we come to the realization of how hard it is to be a stranger abroad. We are not tourists anymore who can be forgiven for the mistakes of behavior or speech. Now we are a full-fledged member of the local society, which means that we will be asked to the fullest. And we have to start somewhere. We have to go to work, we have to go to the university, to the college, and the realization that we all had this back at home makes us feel sad and hopeless. Plus, everything is aggravated by the language barrier. And we just want to lock ourselves in the apartment and not to get out until it gets better. The language barrier had a huge impact on me personally. When I started to work at the medical supplies, an old customer called and he asked me something about the plantar fasciitis brace. Oh my God, I had no idea what it was. And he went huge on me. He was yelling, he was screaming, he was insulting me. I came back home and I didn't want to talk to anybody anymore. In these moments, we feel alienated and start talking only to the fellow countrymen. That's when we enter the third stage that is called disappointment with the new environment. This stage is the main one. And my brother's family who came here due to the war in Ukraine is going through this stage right now. At this stage, irritation usually reaches its peak because every problem can be solved back at home in 5 minutes. And we started to question ourselves if we did the right thing. At this stage, many people return home. If we decide to stay, we enter the fourth stage that is called full acculturation, or the patient goes for a correction. We fully accept new living conditions. We work, we study, we make friends, and we are entering the fifth and the final stage. At the final stage, we are able to evaluate the new country, to see its advantages and benefits. We adapt. Our confidence grows, and that's where our path to success starts. And regardless of what stage you are going through right now, it is not forever. Tomorrow will be better than the previous day. And remember, you can always go back home. Nobody will stop you from going back, but you will never know how it feels unless you stay. Give your dream a chance. There are so many immigrants in this country with so many talents, and they have to take possession of America by taking responsibility for this country. And our responsibility is to create a knowledge and experience bridge to help the new immigrants on their journey into the unknown. If we all step forward with our talents, with our efforts, this country will flourish and blossom once again. We are in the right place where everything is possible. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be standing in front of you right now. Dear immigrants, be motivated, stay resilient, take chances, and always remember what brought you here. Thank you.
Oleksandra, brava, brava, brava. So good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Amazing, amazing work. I'm going to start at the top and we're going to go through everything with my feedback. Your set looks wonderful. Your color choices are dynamic. I love the framing. It's really, really flattering. It looks awesome. I would encourage you, when you're introduced, go ahead and just launch right in. Instead of saying, hi, everyone, you can really start right in. That's just my preference. And I encourage you to think about different ways to kind of launch into your talk the next time. I love you can stay, you can die, or you can run. That is such a powerful acknowledgement of what it means when you're being forced out of your homeland. And I think that that moment in your talk can have more weight. you can slow that section down so that we can fully let it wash over us. It's so powerful. I also love the colors that you chose that you're also using in your animation slides. It's just so fantastic that you're both wearing the pink dress. Really, really thoughtful. I know that you made that a conscious choice. We talked about sound at the beginning of our tech today. You did a really great job of projecting so that I could hear you really, really well. And I know that you're in a big room, so there's a slight echo, but your sound actually came across really, really nicely. I also want to point out that you allowed us in today and became vulnerable. And we've been in relationship for the last 12 weeks. And this was the first time I've really seen you become vulnerable. And I like it. And I want to encourage you to do that more often. You're a very strong, powerful woman who's super clear and very confident. And you can coexist. You can be confident and vulnerable simultaneously. So I want to encourage you to play with that part of your performance quality. The process of adaptation in relationship to immigration is global. You've been able to break down the honeymoon phase, departure from euphoria, disappointment with a new environment, full acculturation and evaluation in a way that is specific to bridge that gap for immigrants, while simultaneously giving us, the viewer and audience, an opportunity to put this practice into play for ourselves in any environment so that we can also learn how to become more better prepared in adaptation. Really, really, really well done. I also think, Oleksandra, that the plantar fasciitis brace story is a moment for humor. I'm a dancer, so I know what plantar fasciitis is. Most Americans probably do not know what that is either. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for you to explore even a little bit of humor there, right? You felt so terrible that you didn't know what a plantar fasciitis brace was. Well, I can guarantee you 85% of the rest of the country doesn't either. So I think that's a really a fun moment for you. I also love this phrase, you're never going to know how it feels unless you stay. So that gives us as an audience the courage, no matter what situation that we're in, if we're in a situation that's uncomfortable or uncertain, we're never going to know what it feels to be on the other side of it unless we stay. And I love that you say everything is possible because you're standing here before us. Absolutely. That's really, really inspiring moment. At the end, you say, "Dear immigrants." I would love for you to add a slide that says "Dear immigrants" with your little love letter to them, so that it just hits it home that you care so much and that you believe this country is the place for immigrants to come and for us to all be together to make the world a better place. Love, love, love that. And that would be my only note when it comes to that final slide. Really beautiful work. I'm so proud of you, Oleksandra.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to the virtual showcase speakers of the 2023 spring cohort. I would love to hear what you think about each of their talks. And if you desire to speak on my big stage, head on over to thebigtalkacademy.com and register today. Remember, your voice matters. Big love. Mwah.